Hey guys, Mike with D2D Millionaire here. In today's video, I just want to cover what do you do when you feel like you've hit a wall in door-to-door sales. So, the season's progressing nicely at this point. Maybe you've been on the doors for several weeks, maybe a month or two at this point, and eventually everybody gets it. They kind of feel like they hit a wall, right? So maybe you're going out on doors and you're talking to people and they're like, oh, we've already heard about that service, or somebody's already talked to us about pest control, or somebody's talked to us about XYZ already, or oh, we already have a service, different things like that, right? So you're going out there, it can be frustrating, you're still doing all the effort, but it seems like nothing is really happening, right? So what do you do when you hit a wall? Well, there's a couple different things you can do to start bringing in more sales if this happens to you. So one thing you can do is head off the beaten path, right? So a lot of times people, what they do is they'll go to a really densely populated area, and that's kind of their main focus. So they're going where there's houses all right next to each other. They can just bust it out, talk to a lot of people. And again, that's a great tactic to use, but when it gets to later in the season, a lot of those areas have already been hit up. A lot of people have already been talked to, and you might not make as many sales. So one tip you can use is going way out off the beaten path. Maybe you head up to a more rural area, and that can have a couple different benefits. So for example, if you're in pest control, a lot of times these more rural areas are going to benefit more from your product and service. So there may be more wooded areas, there's probably more pest activity in the area, so it could be even a higher closing ratio in that aspect. And another thing is a lot of these people probably haven't even been talked to. So again, a lot of times, like I said, people will go to those dense areas. Well, if you're more off the beaten path, it might take more time to go between house to house, but it could pay off in the long run because a lot of these people might not have heard about your product or service, or even from competitors for that matter. So it can give you a great opportunity to reach more people. And a couple things you can do to speed up the process. A lot of times you go in a car, so maybe it's you and a buddy or a partner or whatever, and you're going after a different area. Well, drive from house to house. Yeah, again, it might not be as quick as going when they're all just stacked up right next to each other, but the benefit is, again, that these people haven't been talked to. Or again, maybe bring a bike with you so you can bike from house to house, or rollerblades, or whatever the case is, just so you can get yourself from place to place a little quicker, but again, go to an area that no one's been to yet. Another tip you can use is going to an area where someone in your office, your sales team, either maybe they quit or they didn't get through the season, or you just know that they're not the greatest sales rep. Go back to those areas. It's like if somebody quit, they probably weren't doing a great job. They weren't making a lot of sales. They weren't getting good results. So if they were on the doors in that area, again, there's probably a lot of people that either they did a terrible presentation with, they never even talked to anyone, all kinds of different things. So it could be another great area to go back through. Now that you're later in the season, you've developed your skill set more, you have a higher closing ratio. It's a great opportunity to go back and reach out to those people. Another benefit with that is the fact that a lot of times people need to be exposed to something several times before they decide to buy. So they might have heard about your pest control service already, or maybe earlier in the season, someone that wasn't really that good talked to them about it. They decided not to buy. The sales rep from another company came out, talked to them about it. They decided not to buy. Well, now at this point, you're going out and reaching again. They might be like, well, you know what? I've been hearing all this stuff. I've been seeing activity. Let's go ahead and do it. Or earlier times, maybe they wanted to, but just timing wasn't right, and they just didn't want to take advantage of the discount that was going on. Again, when you reach out to these people for the, several first, second, third, multiple times later, again, there's a higher ratio that they'll get started. And as well as you're going through later in the season, there's probably going to be more neighbors that are customers already of your company or are customers in your industry. So the more that there's that social proof and people want to be a part of something, they want to keep up with the Joneses factor, all these different things, as you're going back to these neighborhoods, it's a lot higher percentage that, again, you have a chance to sell someone because of all those different factors. So a couple different tips you can use as you go back through these different areas when you feel like you've hit a wall in door-to-door sales. So again, hopefully you got benefit out of this. And if you did, feel free to comment and share, subscribe to our channel as well. And if you are in pest control marketing and door-to-door sales and you're struggling, be sure to head on over to d2dmillionaire.com. You can enter your name and email and get access to our free video training on how to overcome the 8 most common objections in pest control marketing. So things like, I need to talk to my spouse, I'm not even seeing pests, why should I bother, why would I need pest control in the winter, and a whole bunch more over at d2dmillionaire.com. And again, just enter your name and email for access to that. But again, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you more soon.